Ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to give everyone an update on the current situation regarding the Las Vegas Athletics. Now, we know they are playing at the minor league ballpark in Sacramento at least for the next 3 years. It's going to be either the next 3 years or the next 4 years, as long as everything goes according to plan. I'm sure MLB would love for it to only be the next 3 years because it is a minor league ballpark they will be playing at, and with Sacramento and how hot it gets, it's really not a good mix. But there were new renderings that got released of this potential new Vegas stadium, and there was some recent news that came out over the past few days talking about an agreement and an approval of a 30-year lease. That is good news when it comes to taking steps to break ground on this new ballpark. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go over all of the new renderings. Now, these renderings did come out in late October. You can see Bally's has a plan to surround big designed Oakland Athletics Stadium with hotel and casino towers. And so this is the first image we get right here. You can see the giant window, very visible. You know, this kind of does look like a retractable roof stadium a little bit. Now, it's not, and it really wouldn't make sense for it to be, considering nowadays, anyways, retractable roofs are basically never open, and especially a climate like this, it would really only be open in April, and then if the A's ever made the playoffs, possibly in October, when you're talking about the Vegas temperatures, but it would probably basically never be open, so it's just a giant waste of money to try and install some type of retractable roof, which undoubtedly would cost more. This is an aerial view. You can see, looks like they've got 2 or 3 different resorts along with a parking garage and the ballpark, the circle right in the center. These are more renderings depicting the side profile of the stadium, talking about the way in which the sun will reflect off of the stadium. And it does look like you can see those overlapping overhangs. It looks like there is also going to be natural light that gets let in through those, which I'm sure was certainly by design. The more natural light, the better, especially when it comes to a dome stadium. And this one, I mean, we know they've got the exaggerated window. I will say something I'm curious when it comes to the stadium design is just the lack of interior detail. When I saw the original rendering for like the interior, it honestly kind of looks like it was a blend between AI and some type of company actually designing the interior model of the stadium. Like, there's no way that a human would design an interior. You know, you look out in left field, there's just nothing there. It looks like a parking garage. And obviously there's actually, I mean, we're still waiting for like legit real renderings of what the interior is going to look like, which again is very strange considering how hyped up this has been. And we remember the first renderings that they released and how horrible they were. I mean, there still is some serious questions about this project and just how legitimate it is. But there was a critical step, as you can see in this new article. A critical step has been taken towards finalizing the new athletics ballpark on the Vegas Strip. The Las Vegas Stadium Authority on Thursday voted to approve the 30-year lease. Non-relocation and development documents needed to begin construction on the new stadium at the former site of the Tropicana Resort. Finalizing the construction plan, of course, could solidify the A's future beyond their planned 3 to 4 year stay in West Sacramento after spending the last 57 seasons in Oakland. It's believed Thursday's approval will lead to construction beginning in spring of 2025. Well, if construction begins in spring of 2025, you would have to say that a potential opening date of 2028, April of 2028, could be in the cards. I mean, how long does it take to build an MLB stadium? The surrounding area might take a little bit longer, and that there might be some issues in terms of that because there's going to be a bunch of construction surrounding it if they are going to build like a hotel tower and a casino tower. I will say one of the things that, although maybe it is connected through underground, but one of the things I know Vegas tends to do when they build these new areas and when they're talking about building a potential NBA resort campus is maybe interconnect the stadium with the casino and with the hotel to where you don't have to go outside. I always thought that was kind of cool. I don't know. Just the idea of not having to go outside, like you're in a hotel and then you just walk into a stadium right from a hotel. That was just always cool to me. It doesn't look like they're doing it with this, though. I mean, it would kind of ruin the aesthetic of the ballpark if you kind of have some building connected to it. I would agree with that, but maybe it's connected underground. Who knows? Either way, with the surrounding area that needing to be built up, I wonder if it's all going to get built at the same time. Are they going to prioritize the stadium construction before the surrounding hotel, the casinos, or is it all going to go up at the exact same time? You would have to figure it would be pretty tough to deal with traffic flow and everything like that if you've got construction going up around a stadium as they're playing games. Although, again, it seems like MLB would say, listen, we've already got a huge problem with the Tampa Bay Rays situation. I'm sure they would love this ballpark to be built ASAP so they could get this team into an actual MLB stadium rather than just kind of the transition city, if you will, in Sacramento. Now, there are other key details about this ballpark. It's official. There's going to be 30,000 seats, very, very, very small, with 3,000 additional standing room locations. So it's pretty remarkable. I thought it was potentially going to be up to 7,000 or 8,000, in terms of standing room, but it looks like the max capacity of this ballpark is around 33,000. I guess it's just a sign of the times, and really when you're talking about MLB baseball, there's so many home games. In a place like Las Vegas, the very small capacity is not too surprising. The ballpark will be a fully enclosed multi-event sports arena accommodating uses such as baseball, concerts, dirt sports, and other special events. The ballpark occupies 9 acres with a 35-acre site shared with Bally's Integrated Resort, bounded by Tropicana Avenue, Las Vegas Boulevard, and Reno Avenue. Another thing that recently came out about this potential new ballpark was the price tag. Apparently now it's going to be around $1.75 billion. Which, look, you want to talk about the building costs possibly being more in Las Vegas. I mean, I guess, but this does not seem like a very big stadium for it to cost almost $2 billion. It's pretty crazy. The price of these stadiums just keeps going up, and also it's going to cost a bit more considering it is a dome stadium, but it does seem like most stadiums nowadays are domed. It's pretty crazy, though, if the cost is actually 1.75, that's almost as much as Allegiant. And Allegiant seats 3 times, well, not 3 times, but like 2.5 times the amount of 30,000. What does Allegiant seat? Probably around 65, 70K. That's probably expandable to like 75. Yeah, it's pretty crazy the price of some of these stadiums nowadays, considering there was one just built in the city for a lot less than this potential stadium is. I wonder if it has to do with the elaborate roof design. It is a pretty sweet roof design. People call it the Sydney Opera House design. My visual look at it, like the first thing that I got, it kind of looks more chrome than I expected. Like the original renderings, it looked like it was going to be like a white finish on the roof, but now it's looking like maybe it's chrome, or I don't know if that's just maybe the image is reflecting the sun depicting off of it. But it definitely gives me like maybe like an AT&T Stadium roof, like almost silver type vibe. That's what I would get from the roof from these newer renderings that were released, these exterior renderings. But again, we're still waiting for the detailed interior renderings. When you look at the stadium, and it kind of looks just really, at least the interior seating design, very unremarkable, just very normal. I think the cool spots would possibly be in the outfield, like the outfield seating, although I guess we'll have to see if when those renderings get released, because right now we just don't have them. But just the decks seem very normal behind home plate. There's really nothing special about it, but it does seem like a very simplistic look in terms of the renderings right now. Seems like very little detail they're giving us when it comes to the interior, and I would expect there's definitely going to be a lot more time to release newer renderings, even before potentially they break ground, if it does break ground in the spring of 2025, which would be spring training. So we'll have to see if that ends up happening. Either way, guys, that is going to do it for this video. Make sure you follow me on X. Link to that's always in the description.